What's up, traders? Welcome to the weekly Forex forecast for the 5th December 2022. So we will start with the dollar index as usually, and we will look to the other major pairs and we will try to understand what's going on with the COT data. So this is a dollar index which has reached this daily order block which I was talking about in the previous weeks, and these two equal lows was taken out, right? So does it mean it will reverse and move up right now? No, I don't think it's ready. What I think is that this previous week's low, which I will show you on the lower time frame, will most likely be taken out. So we have this asset, this previous week's low, and I think the price will drop lower in there. And as we had this strong move down, I would not be surprised if this low would be taken out as well, right? So in my opinion, we have a very beautiful price action in here, because as we can see, always the order block is filled, then price is dropping lower. We can see here we have another order block where the price broke through this low, right? So then the price retraced, going lower. Again, we going through another low. Here is the gap is filled, price going lower, right? So what we got now, gap, right? We have another liquidity down here. So in my opinion, the price will drop even lower as well. The seasonality for the dollar doesn't look good in the December. In my opinion, we will see more continuation down. And if we look to the COT data, we can see that it's basically confirming this move. So we can see the price went from the 52 to the 37, so the profit taking is still going on. We don't see the shorts yet, but the net positions are dropping. So dollar, in my opinion, is definitely bearish. Now we are looking to the EURUSD, and in my opinion, it still has this liquidity above in here, which I think would be taken out, and the price could retrace. In my opinion, this buy model is done, and we will see a retracement. Most likely, I think that this previous month high and this gap in here would be filled, right? Not saying that it's going down right now to fill this gap, but I think the price will come down here in the near future. So, but still, in my opinion, we will see this previous month high and previous week's high to be taken out first. So I think in these levels would be the profit taking of these long positions, which we can see in this COT data on the euro, which has been growing, right? So we can see longs growing, shorts being closed, net positions growing fast. So right now we are looking to the lower time frame, which is 1 hour, and in my opinion, it's a nice price action in here. Again, if we look at it this way, we can see price creating a beautiful structure and still confirming this uptrend, right? So we can see how it is built. So still, in my opinion, liquidity in here, and price will go up, right? So wait just for the right moment. Don't be catched. Don't let them to catch you into the false break, but this would be a moment when the retail traders will sell, and they will put their stop losses above here. So that's what the market makers want you to do, so they can use your stop losses to close their position. So all right, this is for the euro, and I think we will see reaction in this order block. All right. Next one is pound. Very similar price action as on the euro. In my opinion, this level would be filled, right? This gap in this POC, which is in here. So I think that we will still see the violation of these relative equal highs, right? So if we go lower time frame, we still can see this line, this K line, right, which I joined in here. And let's look at the previous week's high. So what we have seen here, we have seen the previous week high was broken, then price dropped, and then it moved sharply higher with the gap in here. So in my opinion, this would be a order block, and from here, I think that we will see some price action to move a bit higher, right? So if I go even lower time frame, I will do that on the let's say 30 minutes. I would like to be looking in this bigger order block on some smaller some smaller signs. So we want to see first the liquidity to be loaded in here, price to drop lower. This will create this will force the retail traders to short, and they will have the stop loss above previous week's high, previous day's high, right? If we click like this, we can see that's a previous month high as well, right? So in my opinion, we still will see this week some push higher before the price will start to make some retracement possibly, but not predicting to the future. I still want to see this makes sense for me, right? That's what I want to participate. Let's look to the COT data. We don't see any big growth in the longs positions. Actually, we can see opposite. We can see that the longs positions has been closed, but if we look to the short positions on this column, we can see that from the 106 to the 62, it means that they being closed more more aggressively, right? So what is doing it with the net positions? We can see 49, 43, 51, minus 30, 36. So basically, it's still kind of bearish, and I think that the bigger drop will come later, because if the price action tell us that this can go higher, but this if this would happen, and in the COT data we don't see the big longs yet, that means that the banks will have to accumulate them somewhere, and they will not be doing it here. They would be doing it lower. So all right, so that's too much predictions. Okay, so this is Aussie. Aussie is as well reaching a nice level in here and on this POC before we have seen this drop. And as well, we of course are reaching this level, right? So we have this order block where the price action was doing its thing. And if we go deeper into it, here is a 4-hour level in here, right? So after taking out this liquidity in here, we can see some price action. We can see some on the lower time frame, as you can see these candles, day candles. We can see the breakdown, and then again the liquidity higher is taking it out, right? So could this be a reversal in here? In my opinion, yes. In my opinion, we might see a move down from here, but I would like to see a bigger drop first. So what's happening in here? Let me bring this previous week's high. So we have previous week's high here being taken out, and we had this drop. And actually last week I was in my Discord saying that if the price will drop down in here, then I would like to be looking for the short, on the pullback. However, all this what happened was out of the kill zones and out of the time when we trade. So you can see that sometimes not trading like set and forget, but trading just in the correct time can save you from taking a loss, right? So what we got here, we are reaching the level on the higher time frame. We have seen it. We got the break of the structure, and we got a liquidity being taken out, right? So what happened right now, those who shorted here or those who took the sell in here after this pullback might have been taken out. And right now, if the price start to drop down and will take this low out, so if we get this low taken out, and then we get the pullback, which would have to be with all these things which we are talking in the Discord, like at least 50% pullback and all these things. So if we get this, then I would be interested to take a short in here, right? However, be careful with the Australian dollar, because COT data looks good. Here is nothing much bullish in here. We have quite still strong positions. However, they've been closed. Anyway, doesn't look that bullish. And as well on the Tuesday, I think tomorrow, or maybe actually it's tonight, because Australia has this time advance. there is a RBA, you know, the Australian Central Bank, and they will raise actually they will raise the interest rate. So in my opinion, for some intraday short term, yes, but if you waiting for some swing, I would wait for this price action after this central bank speaking, because it still can fire up, you know, and then make that drop down. All right, so this is a USD-CAD, and USD-CAD actually reacted on this weekly order block in here. We can see from that, right? So boom, sharp move down, and price is reacting in here, right? So then we have this break of the structure on the lower time frame. So let's go there, and here is the daily. And on the daily, as I said, we had this break, right, which has created this gap in here, where the price action has retraced back, right? And where we are heading right now, in my opinion, we are heading into this order block. So let's go lower time frame, and I actually like this price action in here, right? So what happened in here? Here is this our gap, right? So it was visited, and it as well took out two levels of the liquidity. Then we have the drop lower. Here is a break of the structure, right? And then price retracing, right? Let me bring a lower time frame, and you will see how is the price action beautiful in here. So we get this breakdown, break of the structure. Then if we plot a Fibo in here, so we can see how the price action has retraced back down to the 62 or even to the 70% OTE, optimal trade entry, and filled this gap in here, right? So we have the gap filled, then we have again another break of the structure, right? So the force of the higher time frame is still down, because you know, we have the reaction on the weekly and then on this daily gap, right? So right now we have this breakdown, and then we can draw again a Fibo. So Fib will be here. Okay, so Fib will be here, and then we're looking again 50% at least, and we're looking some gap or some optimal trade entry, right? So it's still higher, so I would wait slightly. Of course, there's a possibility to take a trade in here, but in my opinion, it still needs to reach this level, right? So or this order block. So then from here, I would like to see a price to drop lower, right? So that's what I would be looking for on the USD-CAD. USD-CAD is, in my opinion, bearish, and we can see that on the positions as well, where the Canadian dollar, this is a Canadian dollar, not USD-CAD. Here was the shorts for the Canadian dollar, right? So that means the USD-CAD went up, and since here we can see how they're dropping, right? So it actually peaked the 3 weeks ago, and now the shorts are dropping. So the net positions coming from the negative to the slightly positive. So in my opinion, as said, the USD-CAD is a bearish pair, right? All right. This is USDJPY, and we have seen that it has dropped down, and right now it is filling this daily order block in here, right, which is nested in this weekly one. So price is actually reacting in here on even on this small one, which is I think maybe the 4 hours, and it's slightly moving higher, right, as on the opening of the week. However, in my opinion, I think that this selling pressure, this selling model will end down below some liquidity zones, which would be these two, right? So in my opinion, any pullback up is a short opportunity, and we will look where. So here we got actually how the price action actually works in here. So we had the breakdown here through this previous month's low in here, then price action came back into this order block, right? Then we have the breakdown here again, and where is the order block? Is all these consecutive candles, right? So you can see how it's nicely filling. Then we have the breakdown here, and in my opinion, what would be here? The level where we want to enter is this previous day's high, which we can see this small one, and the gap above it. So this would be a level where we want to enter. Let me zoom it a little bit. Sorry, I just okay. So we would like to be entering in this in this gap above the previous day's high for the short, right? So in this gap, on this daily gap, we want to find maybe a lower time frame gap to be more exact with our entry. So let's highlight this. Actually, we don't have to. We can highlight only this, and it would be, let's say, line H, right? And let's go to the 1 hour. So here is the top of that gap, and we would like to see a previous day's high to be taken out, which is this level. And here actually we have that gap on the higher time frame, right? So that's above that day high. So here is the gap, and in this level we would like to be looking for the entry, right? So where it would be possible. So let me show you the way how I'm thinking about it. I always want to enter at least above the 50% of that swing, right? Because if I'm entering below the 50%, I would be entering maybe too soon, right? So I want to enter in this gap, which is above the previous day's high and above this, and I would like to see a perfect entry above the 50%, which is actually above the previous day's high too, right? So and what we got in here, look, we got here this gap. So here I would like to be interested to look for my entry, right, after this previous day's high being taken out, and this one which is above the 50%, and we have the gap nested in this higher time frame gap, right? So from here looking for the shorts, right? Okay. If you look to COT data, we can see that Japanese yen actually has peaked its shorts, right? And they are dropping right now. So if the shorts of the Japanese yen peaked, that means that it's now becoming slightly bullish, or at least in the profit-taking phase. Alright. Okay, so the next one is gold. I will not repeat what I did in the previous 2 weeks forecast about this liquidity load in here, right? So basically we know that a lot of liquidity was loaded here below these week's lows. Since then the price action actually break through this previous month high. It has made nice retest and moved higher as predicted, right? So what we got in here right now, we have this 2 equal highs, and so I think that it's a nice opportunity to see a at least short-term breakout, right? I don't like to trade a breakouts, you know, like for the big continuation, but what I think will happen is maybe, you know, something like this before it's do something like that into here, right? So anyway, as I think it will break out, what I would do in here, let me bring 1 hour. And we can see that how the price action is beautifully working out, right? So we can see that, let me show you in here. So what we have seen in here is clear break in here. Then the price reacted in this gap, and as well in the confluence of this, right? Then we had some consolidation in here. We have the order block, right? Price action reacting on the order block. Then again, price broke through this. Here we had this consolidation, retest, reclaiming this order block, price going higher. Then we got these highs before they've been broken out, accumulation, right? So price dropped lower, reacted in here, and now what we got in here? So let me zoom. As said, the price acted in here, you know, moved higher, then boom, breaking higher, and what we got here, we had this order block, right? And in this order block below these levels we have this gap, right? So on the lower time frame, I think that still this previous month high and the previous week's high, it is as well, I think, yes, would be taken out, right? So looking for the long on the short-term time frame. So I think that these lows would be perfect liquidity, and these levels would be perfect as they are nested in this bigger time frame order block, right? So in my opinion, something like this could happen. If we look to the COT data, we can see that basically the longs are not coming any heavily yet, but they've been close some. But what's happening here is, and more important, is what is going on with the short side. We can see 155, 151, and then the big drop, right? Big drop above 60k, around the 50k shorts change, right? So we have like big change in here in the short positions, which has been closed in the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, right? So that's actually all this move which was happening. The shorts has been closed, right? So all right.